it is possible to have governance without leaders, I think a system like that is exactly what we need. And it probably could actually benefit quite a bit from things like AI and crypto technology, blockchain, and all that stuff to
Yeah.
assist us in holding ourselves accountable to kind of remove power from any one individual or small group of people.
Yeah.
And if something like that were successful, I think a shadow government would really struggle to get its tendrils in.
Absolutely would. Yes. 100%.
And
Well,
I think
when,
that's impossible to do at all, especially when the protests that hit the supposed mark of being like kind of a shoe-in for success is called No Kings. I think like getting people on board with the goal of like thinking about a government with no leaders. There is hope. A friend of mine, former military, was participating in one of these No Kings protests, right, in Tacoma. And he sent me an article. It was a study by some poli sci at Harvard, and BBC reported on this. And they decided to do a study on peaceful revolution versus violent revolution. Now, this poli sci was skeptical that peaceful revolution would be effective at all compared to a violent revolution, which has roughly 25% success rate,
mm-hmm.
which is actually not bad. But they found that it's twice as effective as violent revolution
Mm-hmm.
if if you hit a certain percentage of the population. 3.5% of the population being actively involved in peaceful revolution is has so far in the world never not been successful.
Huh. That's
And
interesting.
like even as of yesterday, I thought like, you know what, like this is going to come to a violent revolution. It has to,
Mm-hmm.
um, because the military isn't even siding with the people. So what else can you do? And it may still come to that, but you're not going to get much success without the peaceful part, at
Yes.
least to bring people on board with it. If it comes to, push comes to shove, of course, violence will be necessary. And I think a lot of the regime changes that come out of, the 25% success rate of violent revolutions didn't get there just with, let's jump to violence.
Yeah.
There probably was at least some effort, where people were like, hey, please listen, to our plea.
Mm-hmm.
And when that falls on deaf ears, of course, people get angry,
Yeah.
and that's justified.
At least, at the very least, very frustrated.
Yeah, and that's healthy. Like I don't buy into the stoicism stuff where like you should push that away or equate positive or negativity with emotion. Like if you're angry, it means there's something wrong. There's something not right.
It depends on your perception, of course.
Well, yeah,
Because some people will get angry about certain things and not others, and vice versa. And like,
but
and
it's
it
all
depends on.
cumulative.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
but it.
the straw that breaks the camel's back could be something really small, and in the moment you're like, what the fuck?
It's
Like
but
that's
people
not a
get
big deal, but
there. My point is like people get angry about different things,
mhm.
and so what angers you may not anger me. And maybe I get angry about something or frustrated about something, and you're like, well, why is that even a big deal? You know, and so it's like that's tough to have something like that be coordinated, and uh, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
don't like the idea of, well, because one of the problems too with movements that are kind of centrally organized is that I don't know. It's a matter of like very intelligently and logically looking at exactly what is wrong and exactly why, and
Well,
and then come up with a plan of what to do about it. And so why not plan plan
yeah.
your attack rather than just jump in head first unaware of like the potential outcome when you could just take a little bit of time to plan. I mean, if you're controlling an army and you're attacking or defending or whatever, like it won't behoove you. It certainly wouldn't. Like you could be like, well, we might win, we also might lose, but let's just attack. Well, okay, but why don't we just look at the battlefield, look at the situation, analyze the enemy's troops and their gear, and maybe even like observe the way they do things, so that we can come up with a way to counter that or take them by surprise or whatever. I mean, it's really important to plan and to have a really good direction, sense
Okay,
of direction, rather than just like, like going back to, well, for one, with cars, the consequences of just kind of randomly changing parts is like money and time, and maybe like bloody knuckles or something, and but like, and okay, well, that's just on you, right? But when you're talking about social change, that's much bigger than just a car, and that affects everybody.
the binary thing is 100% made up, right?
Yeah.
Like these are real issues with real opinions and stuff. And wherever those land in this false dichotomy, sure, you could be lumped into that group, but that doesn't define you. And that's the important part. Like people define each other based on that,
Mm-hmm.
but more often than not, people that I talk to, even if they seem like they're hardline left or right, they identify as somewhere in the middle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Generally
Be-
speaking, yeah,
because because it's not one or the other.
it's much more
Nobody
nuanced.
wants to be simplified down to that, you
No,
know?
no. Well, some people have nothing better to do with their lives than be that identity, right? They don't have their own identity apart from their politics or whatever, which is sad. And that's something
Hmm.
that probably needs to be worked on, because it's a lot more nuanced than just that. Human beings are very colorful in their views. And also it's important too to push that within partisan politics, that there has to be room for people to have different views.
Like they play the long game, you have to play the long game too. You can't take a long game goal and then plan to have it be like a surgical strike. You
No,
have
but
to have you have to have a surgical strike be like take a tumor out, not cure the entire disease at once, you know?
yes, yes. But the point is, you have your long game, and then every action you take has to follow that long game.
Yeah.
That's the point. Is like there has to be some kind of structure, some plan in place before anything happens, and you got to like basically pass it through that filter. Is like, oh, is this part of that strategy? If
Well,
not, don't do it yet. Put it on the shelf. If it is, go ahead and
but
be
see, the fact that
methodical.
you and I talk about this stuff on this show and we bounce ideas back and forth and we occasionally get input from viewers and what we effectively build is a think tank,
Mm-hmm.
like people like you and me should actually be actively involved in like kind of leading a charge on this so that once actual change is beginning to take place, we have a voice that can be heard
Mm-hmm.
by many and say, look, now we're making some progress. This is the direction we think things should be going.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the conversation open. Like,
Of
hey,
course, yeah.
what does everybody think about that?
Well, and
And
yeah, yeah, involve the community. I think all things should be like
yeah,
crowdsourced, essentially.
it's like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but it's just that like we kind of have to blend the plans into one thing because like either one on their own is of course haphazard and will fail in one way or the other, even if they make some progress, like
Yeah.
some incremental progress. Like the two coming together is really what you need to make a real effectual change.